What's up, NFL fans? The dust is still settling on the blockbuster trade that sent Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith to the Steelers for Minkah Fitzpatrick. And now, one of the central figures in that deal has broken his silence. Tight end Jonnu Smith recently appeared on former NFL player Terron Armstead's podcast and gave his first public comments since the trade, revealing his true feelings about leaving Miami and his excitement about joining Pittsburgh. Let's dive into what he said. On leaving Miami, I didn't foresee this. First, Smith made it clear that he was blindsided by the move and had hoped to stay with the Dolphins long term. I didn't foresee this leaving Miami happening, considering how the season went for me individually, Smith said. I had aspirations of finishing my career in Miami, it being a home for me, my kids, and my family. He then detailed how the situation unfolded, suggesting the Dolphins front office left him waiting. We started this conversation back in January with Miami, and obviously, they kind of strung me along. Obviously, they had some things they needed to figure out, and I get that. He explained. I was patient with them through the whole process, and eventually, it got to a point where they told me they just couldn't get it done, and they weren't economically in a position to pay me as a Pro Bowl tight end. That's a pretty direct and honest assessment of the situation, while he expressed clear disappointment, a sentiment echoed by his former teammate Raheem Mostert. Smith ended his thoughts on Miami with professionalism. I'm grateful for my time in Miami, and I hold no ill will toward the organization, he stated. On joining Pittsburgh, valued and appreciated, Smith's tone shifted completely when he spoke about his new team. He made it clear he's going to a place where he feels wanted. But now I'm in a situation where I'm valued, Smith declared. You'll always go where you're most valued and appreciated. That is a powerful statement and shows he is fired up to join the Steelers. What's next for Smith in 2025? The article then analyzes his fit in Pittsburgh, noting that his outlook is somewhat murky. He's joining a crowded offense and will be competing for targets with established tight end Pat Freiermuth, as well as receivers like DK Metcalf and Robert Woods. However, there are two huge reasons for optimism. The Arthur Smith connection. His new offensive coordinator is the same coach who oversaw his rise to prominence with the Tennessee Titans. If anyone knows how to use him, it's Arthur Smith, the Aaron Rodgers effect. With a legend at quarterback, the Steelers' offense is expected to be more pass-focused, which can mean more opportunities for everyone. The Steelers are clearly all in for 2025, and it sounds like their new tight end is fully bought in and motivated by feeling valued. So what do you think? Are you surprised by Smith's comments about the Dolphins? And how big of a year do you think he'll have in Pittsburgh? Let me know below. With the star power in Miami's secondary suddenly gone, the Dolphins are turning to an unlikely leader to hold the line. Jalen Ramsey has been traded. Jevon Holland is a giant. And in their place, the immense pressure of leadership now falls squarely on the shoulders of Kader Kohou, an undrafted cornerback entering his fourth year. The transformation of this unit has been swift and dramatic. The trade of Ramsey to Pittsburgh and the departure of other veterans has left a massive void. This isn't just a roster shuffle. It's a complete philosophical shift. The Dolphins are moving from a defense defined by big names and big contracts to one that must be built on grit and chemistry. And Kohou is now the veteran presence tasked with building from the ground up. The challenge is immense. The cornerback room is now filled with improving talent. It features undrafted players like Storm Duck and Ethan Bonner, a fifth-round rookie in Jason Marshall Jr., and 2023 second-round pick Cam Smith, who has yet to start a game or record an interception. Kohou, once a mentee, now finds himself in the mentor role. As he told the Miami Herald, I have to show the younger guys how it's done, just like Ramsey and Xavier Howard did for me. This is where Kohou's journey comes full circle. The ultimate underdog, who fought his way onto the roster from Texas A&M Commerce, is now the standard bearer for a group of players trying to follow his path. His performance last season, with 45 tackles and 2 interceptions, showed his growth, but he knows more is required. He's aiming for more game-changing plays, drawing inspiration from Miami's legendary 1972 no-name defense to forge a new underdog identity. The return of Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety provides a critical piece of stability and versatility. But the fate of this pass defense may ultimately rest on this young group's ability to rally around their new leader. Kohu says he can already feel the hunger in the room, a collective drive to prove the doubters wrong. Can a secondary led by Kader Kohu truly hold its own against the AFC's elite offenses? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more in-depth analysis. The era of established stars may be over for the Dolphins secondary, but a new one is just beginning, one defined not by names, but by a relentless drive to prove they belong.